Hi everyone, Happy New Year and welcome to Automobilista 2. Don't adjust your viewing device. I am wearing matching socks for a very good reason. Reza overnight has finally dropped the Circuit de la Sarthe, the Le Mans 24 hour, plus all their new car content. So I thought to celebrate that we'll wear matching socks for once, which I know a lot of you does your head in having mismatched socks. So we'll solve that problem for you guys. So this is on the release candidate. So if you just go into your Steam app, right click the game, and change the build to release candidate, you'll be able to get all the new content. Looks like it's free to play over the holiday weekend as well, as we're coming up behind the GT3 car there. So first thing I have to say off the bat is this is one of the most stunning looking circuits I've ever seen. Definitely worth the wait. Sort of place you're going to want to drive around, pull over the side of the road, get your drone cam out and have a bit of a look around the circuit, especially the infield stuff. It's just the little details are phenomenal, and it really makes you appreciate how much work goes into building something like this and why there was such a delay on it. Got a bit of a mess here with the AI cars, so we'll try and get out of their way in a second. So it's going to be a massive few months for fans of the WEC and endurance racing, of course, with this content dropping. LMU coming out in a couple of months as well. So if you're a fan of these sort of cars and the multi-class racing, you're going to be in for an absolute treat. So in terms of the new content, what have we actually got? So we've got obviously the circuit, which is the Le Mans, the Circuit de la Sarthe, which is the full 13 point something kilometre, whatever my socks say down there, circuit. And you've also got the smaller Bugatti circuit, which is what the MotoGP run on. And obviously cars, GT3 cars, there's a new Gen 2 series of cars. There's 4 of them. To be honest, they look the same as the Gen 1 cars. I don't know what the difference is between Gen 1 and Gen 2 GT3, but you do get the McLaren 720, the Porsche 992 GT3R, the Mercedes GT3 Evo, and the BMW M4 in the GT3 class. So a bit of a mouthful there in terms of the cars, but that's the new GT3 cars. In these cars is what everyone's going to sort of be driving. This is what everyone's been excited for, the LMDh series of cars. There's 3 cars at the moment. So we've got the Porsche 963, the Cadillac V Series, and the car that I'm in, which is the BMW Hybrid V8. Another thing to notice too is the detail in the cockpit. There's some little cables here on the side which just wobble and move around as the car does with the G-forces. So fantastic looking cockpit interior. We've got the lights here as well that light up when your TC kicks in, when your brakes are locking up. There's different color coding systems. You saw it flash purple there. So blue is TC, purple is the brakes locking up. I'm sure you can feel that through the car anyway when your brakes lock up, but there are lights there to tell you. All the LMDh cars have the same amount of power, 670 horsepower, and they're about 10 kilos difference in terms of the weight. Now they all have a ERS system like you do in the Formula 1 car. So at the moment I'm off, not deploying any energy. On my little rotation wheel here we can you can see on the HUD there, you start deploying that energy. So there's full up to attack mode, and there's a qualifying mode above that, which is the absolute full beans. So we'll do a bit of a push lap in a minute, and that'll be one of the big things too with these cars, is managing the energy, like you do with the Formula 1 race. So that'll be a huge thing when it comes to racing. See who uses their energy up first. A guy might pull away, but then you might get him back as you save your battery energy. This looks fantastic too. Just coming in, just going to pause here for a second. Coming into the main straight, and then the detail here is just phenomenal. So I said you've definitely got to have a look at the circuit in drone mode. Let's crank up go into attack mode. And we'll have a bit of a push lap here. So I said just looks absolutely stunning. Now, of course, this is free to play at the moment because of the holiday season. It will eventually, you have to pay for it like you did with the Formula High Tech now that the season passes have finished. The 2022 pass obviously wound up. But to their credit, they did also release some stuff well into 2023 as part of that original season pass. Because there were some things they promised that they didn't quite get to deliver. So credit there where credit's due, but now going forward it's going to be you buy the thing separately. Although going off the Formula High Tech, those cars are only about $10, and as was the historical track packs, I'm assuming this content will be pretty similar, probably $10 to $12 for the cars, $10 to $12 for the track as well, so not too bad in terms of the grand scheme of things. Come down on the Mulsanne straight to our first chicane. Cars feel absolutely fantastic off the bat. Just done default setup. This is the low downforce setup, which the game defaults to because of where we are. Obviously, we're very interesting as well. I'm sure at some point there'll be retro versions of the Circuit de la Sarthe. I'm sure we'll get a 60s version or a 1980s version like we do in Assetto Corsa. And that's what I think I'm really looking forward to. I love the old versions of the circuit. I'm sure that will come in time. But as I said, huge few months coming out for this category with Le Mans Ultimate coming out from the guys who do R Factor from Studio 397. And what that's going to bring, I think that in particular that game will bring a lot of people from the ACC crowd over in terms of the multi-class stuff, because obviously there's no driver swaps in AMS2 at the moment, so it's fantastic offline, but multiplayer is still a bit of an issue with Automobilista too. But I think LMU will take a lot of those players from ACC who are probably tired of driving a GT3 at Brands Hatch in the wet over and over. And so I'm sure that will take a lot of those guys initially. It's going to be pretty exciting. Some new tracks there with LMU as well. Rumours, of course, at Automobilista too, that places like Sebring might make it into the game, which again would be pretty cool to expand. Now they've got this series in the game, it would be fantastic to expand that a bit more as well. A big lock up there. Deploy that battery a bit more as well. Go to qualify, give it the full beans. Of course, not a lot of big, there's a lot of long straights, so the braking zones, I'm not sure how that's going to work in terms of saving energy. It's going to be a real strategy to not run out of energy by the end of the lap. Because obviously the first part of the lap is just all flat out straight, so very little places to regenerate the battery. It goes so fast a lap here, a 4-minute lap or a 3-minute 30 lap, whatever it is. It feels like it takes a minute and a half or 2 minutes. It's a fantastic circuit. Alright, so I might jump in now, do a quick 2-lap race against the AI and see how the AI are with this game. guys, couldn't help myself there. Did a bit of a push lap at the end of that practice session, just with the full beans of the ERS system wide open. Heaps of fun. Now we're in an AI race, 2 laps, 105%, a little bit lower than what we normally run it because I'm not familiar with the cars or what sort of pace we'll be running at. And a 50 times multiply with the time. So you can get a bit of transition from day to night. Look at these cars lit up like Christmas trees at night time. They look absolutely fantastic. So we squeeze there into turn 2. And just off the bat, these cars drive absolutely fantastic as well. Stuck to the ground like you'd expect with all their aero and all their fancy bits of trickery on them. Sound fantastic as well. See how we go here. A bit of a default setup, like I said, so I have no idea in terms of the gearing what we're going to get out of the car. Well north of 330 kph. Just push a little bit wide there through the chicane. Plenty of AI improvements, the last couple of months with Automobilista 2. They are generally smarter and do defend a bit more aggressively than they used to. Bit of a drag race going on at the moment. Now we are fully into the darkness now as that 50 times progression kicks in completely. Try and pick our braking markers in this low light. Try not to run at the back of the AI. So we've got the TC quite low. I tend to run it around 4 or 5, like a little bit of slip with these cars, but not too much. Find with AMS the TC does kick in quite a bit, and we are very slow on the straights, obviously. And way too conservative into Indianapolis, that's for sure. So definitely jump on and get the game at the moment because it is free to play. All you got to do is just change your game access to release candidate, which takes about 30 seconds through your Steam app. So a very simple process, and you'll get the cars and the tracks probably for the next few days over the holiday period. And then at some point you'll have to pay for them, like we did with the Formula High Tech when they came out. But I'll certainly be buying this, whatever the cost is. I see a lot of leagues picking these cars up. They're running some fantastic Enduro series, especially if we get tracks this year, like Sebring. Just trying to expand this format a little bit more. And obviously we'll wait till February for LMU to come out. And a little bit of a bump there. They are a little bit early on the brakes in some corners. And they're very, very fast down the straights. Of course, looks great now, and darkness is fully taken over. The lights are doing their business. Some stuff on the side of the circuit there's lit up, a few buildings, a few office lights are on. Getting the 7th gear there finally. have left it on full qualifying attack mode as well. Sorry, qualifying mode. There is an attack mode as well with the ERS for these 2 laps, and it has been regenerating, so I haven't run out of juice quite yet. Got at the moment probably just under 30% left from that lap and a bit, which is good to know going forward. But it's now depleting a lot, of course, now that we're on the straights. Oh, big wobble there. Too busy looking at my energy deployment, not looking at the road. See the cars in front all splitting up there trying to find room. I think there'll be a lot of managing the ERS through sector 1 here because of the long straights, and then on this section you probably deploy the energy a lot more. I'm getting absolutely mullered here by the AI, and he cuts in quite aggressively. Well done. Very slow on the straights. I have to get that sorted out. Now I get a bit of a run there, a bit of a slow exit at the right-hander after Indianapolis. But again, you never know who's sort of harvesting energy, how much they've got left in their battery, which is all part of the strategy. And through the fantastic Porsche curves. AI is definitely a little bit slow through this section. See the Ferris wheel in the background there all lit up. So I think some Enduros in this game are going to be absolutely fantastic. Because AMS, of course, probably the best looking of all the sims. So alright guys, there we go. There's our first look at Circuit de la Sarthe, Le Mans, 24-hour, LMDh, all that sort of stuff. Jump on your release candidate, grab it. Have a very happy new year. Thanks for watching as always, and see you on track in 2024.